By now, you're probably sick to death of hearing that phrase. It's almost become a cliche now, the Great Resignation, because everybody is resigning en masse, and potentially that could be you. Michael Kerr here. Now, I talk a lot about what it takes to create truly rocking, remarkable, inspiring workplace cultures so that people don't want to leave for greener pastures. And this is the perfect time to talk about not the Great Resignation, but the Great Opportunity. In fact, if you go to my website, www.mikekerr.com, I have a blog there called Turning the Great Resignation into the Great Opportunity, because I believe truly that's what this is. This is the perfect time to take a pause and to reflect and to reimagine a more inspiring, rocking workplace that works for everybody. If you are a leader, if you're a manager, a supervisor watching this video, then you know the importance of focusing on your workplace culture. It's the number one reason why people say they leave their job still, is because of their culture. And even all of the different issues that people talk about when they leave their workplaces, they're all, for the most part, culture related. It is rarely because of the money. And even when it is related to the money, sometimes it's what the money symbolizes. It's not really about the money when you have a really deep conversation with those people who have left. And of course, lots of organizations have exit interviews to try to figure out what's going on, why people are jumping ship. But of course, the proverbial horse has left the proverbial barn if you do exit interviews only. That's why you need, as a manager, you need to do stay interviews and do regularly scheduled interviews to check in with your employees, to ask them what will keep them with you, and not just keep them in survivor mode, but keep them thriving, that will keep them in your workplace truly engaged and happy and inspired in the long term. Do not look for band-aid solutions or shortcuts or short-term fixes. You've got to be thinking in the long term, because this is a huge cost to your organizations. Now, if you're an employee, I want to suggest that you take control of, it's your life after all, it's your career. You take control and you schedule what will keep me here interviews if your boss, if your manager isn't going to do it. If you are thinking, even just a little part of you, about jumping ship, about going for a new job, for leaving for greener pastures, I think you're doing a huge disservice if you don't have this conversation with your boss. You're doing a disservice for yourself, for your family. You're doing a disservice to your colleagues. You're doing a disservice to your company, because you could potentially fix things. You could potentially, in a constructive way, offer some solutions that is going to help keep you in place and not upend your family and cause stress to your family and stress to your coworkers. You could possibly be a solution provider or a catalyst to change in your workplace. And don't you think you owe it to your boss to at least be honest and have that conversation with them, so at least they have the opportunity to respond before you jump ship? You are doing a disservice to everybody if you don't have these conversations. Now, you want to frame these conversations in a very positive, constructive way, so it doesn't look like you're just self-serving. So it doesn't look like you're just focused on your best interests alone. So it doesn't look like you're just complaining that you're another negative employee who's just going to turn into a seagull and crap all over everything. You want to make sure it comes across that you're not making threats, that you're not holding your boss or your company hostage. In other words, you're not saying, until this is my list of demands, until I get this coffee maker in the lunchroom, I'm leaving, I'm out of here, I need this coffee, right? You see, you don't want to do that. You don't want to come across that way. You want to make sure it is positive. You want to make sure that it is as constructive as possible and go into this with a partnership mindset with your supervisor, with your manager. And so a few tips to help guide you in these conversations. Number one, the first one just being, be prepared. Do your homework. Bring notes if you have to. There's nothing wrong with bringing a few notes to a meeting, to a conversation, so you don't forget what it is you want to cover. But do your homework. Think really carefully what it is that is making you unhappy about your job. What are some ideas or solutions that you think will help change the situation? Are you worried about the pay because They may very likely ask you that. Is this really about the pay? So have a response to that. Be very, very clear about what it is that you're concerned about, what it is you want to focus on in terms of improvements. Number 2, schedule it in a neutral setting, and schedule it at a time where you're not going to be rushed, where neither party is going to feel stressed and time pressured. And it's important to do it in a neutral setting so you're not on each other's turf, so that you feel as relaxed as possible, and frame the invitation for this conversation as a conversation about your future. Number 3, thank them. This is a very small thing to do, but it's really important. Take the time to thank them for taking the time to meet with you, for taking an interest in your career, for taking an interest in your concerns. Number 4, set your intention for the conversation. Set your intention for the meeting. Frame it in a positive way. Tell your boss that you want to talk about how you can best contribute to your team, to your organization in the future. Focus on the organization, focus on what the company needs rather than coming from where you are and what you need. Focus on what's best for everyone. Tell them what you enjoy about working on your team, for your company, for them. What parts of your job do you get the most fulfillment from, the most meaning from? What parts of the work, or what things does your company do that really energizes you, that inspires you? Focus on the positives first. Number 6, use a bridging phrase now to shift from the positive stuff that you're happy about within your job to bringing up your concerns. So for example, these are the parts of my job I really like. However, I really hate working in a soul-sucking, fun-sucking, matrix-like workplace. Okay, I'm kidding. You probably don't want to say that, but you may want to say something like, however, as happy as I am with parts of my job, I feel like there are ways I could be making an even bigger contribution. Or even though I'm really happy in some parts of my job, I feel like I'm not as happy as I used to be. I'm not as fulfilled as I used to be. And I really want to explore opportunities with us for how I could maybe change my job, or how I could help change the culture in our team so that I'm going to feel more connected and a greater sense of belonging here, because I really do want to stay committed to this company and to this team. Number 7, get uncomfortable being uncomfortable. Let's face it, this could get a little uncomfortable, because the whole point of having this conversation is to be honest with yourself and honest with your boss or manager. So you need to be a little uncomfortable, and know that maybe it is going to feel a little uncomfortable, because perhaps this is the first time you've brought up these issues. And perhaps the issues you are bringing up is your leader's leadership style, your boss's management style. And so of course that's going to feel a little uncomfortable if you haven't done that before. But it's important still, this is the whole point of doing that you find the courage to do it. Life is too short to work in a soul-sucking, fun-sucking workplace. And again, I want to remind you, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your teammates to have this conversation and give your boss the benefit of the doubt. But you want to keep this positive, of course. Keep it constructive and maintain a partnership mindset so that you are working with your boss to find solutions. Tell them that you're willing to support them in any way you can. Here's how I'm feeling, though, about certain things. Here's why I'm not as happy as I once was, why I'm not as fulfilled as I once was in my job, and I'm hoping that we could explore some ideas to help me get over this, to help me find a new connection in my job, because I really do want to stay here and I value your input. So let's work together to see if we can find some solutions, find some creative ideas to make this work, because I really do want to stay here. Remember, again, not being honest with them is doing them a disservice as well. Not just you, it is doing them a disservice. They may have never heard this before. And so how can you expect them to change if nobody has been willing to step up and have this perhaps uncomfortable conversation with them for the first time? And number 8, finally, Make sure you schedule a follow-up conversation. This cannot be viewed as a one-off conversation. You are not going to solve everything in one conversation. There's no way you are. This has to be viewed as a series of conversations, as the starting point conversation to finding solutions that are going to work for you, that are going to keep you happy and fulfilled in your job. So make sure you schedule at least one and call it the next conversation. Can we schedule another conversation a week from now or 2 weeks from now, once we've had time to think about this and bat around some ideas and consider some opportunities? I'd like to come back in 2 weeks, sit down and have another conversation to see where we're at. And it may take a series of conversations, but that's okay. That's okay. It could take time, but it is worth the time. It is worth the investment, is it not? It is worth the discomfort of having that conversation if it is going to keep you where you truly do want to be, where you truly do want to keep working. So don't delay this. Don't delay having this conversation out of fear. You are going to regret working in a soul-sucking, fun-sucking workplace any longer than you need to. So before you jump ship, before you jump aboard the Great Resignation and add to those statistics, give your management team the benefit of the doubt. Have this conversation. Have a what will keep me here conversation so that you can recommit to your workplace, to your team, to your job. Does this resonate with you? Please leave a comment or question in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you. I get a lot of feedback on this topic, so please leave a comment. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my Inspiring Workplaces channel, please hit the subscribe button. Join our growing community as we talk about workplaces that rock.